The kingdom of Alabasta has finally been saved, not just Crocodile being defeated or the rain falling, but the rebel army and the royal army have now stopped fighting and understand exactly what has happened, what Crocodile has been doing, and the fact that it was never the king to start with. It was a tyrant that came in and started ruining the country, started turning the people against each other. And it was so beautiful to finally see this moment occur where after all of this trying from Vivi, all of the struggle that she's gone through, she can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. After all this time, Egerum finally returns, and he returns with the boy in his arms that saw Bon Clay turn from the king into himself, and he explains the fact that it was never the king that started all of this. It was never the king creating artificial rain and stealing the rain from other countries. It was always the Baroque works. It was always Crocodile. And now that, everybody knows that, even though there has been bloodshed and there has been lives lost, they can finally start rebuilding this country. It was a really beautiful moment when this finally happened. People dropped their weapons. Like I said, the rain was falling. Crocodile has officially been arrested by the Marines, by Tashigi, which, by the way, she has a really great moment in this episode, a really great arc. I have a lot of respect for her as a character, and I'm really excited to see where she goes next. But regardless, Crocodile has officially been taken down, and the country, like I said, can start rebuilding itself. We saw, like I said, the rain falling. We saw the citizens looking up into the sky, all joyous. We got to see Toto, back in Yuba, still digging for water, and the rain was falling. And he said the rain finally started coming after 3 years. He'd been waiting this whole time. He'd been trying this whole time. He never lost faith. Toto is one of the only people, I think, that never lost faith in the king, never lost faith in the kingdom. He always knew the rain would come, and he always knew that the king was never at fault here. It was always something else, and that was a really beautiful moment to see. And I love the quiet moment where Vivi is sat up in her bed looking outside at night at the rain, and she can't sleep because she's just so happy to see rain falling in the kingdom, because really that represents the kingdom starting to heal itself, because the drought is basically the thing that started all of this thing, the rain disappearing and the citizens dying of thirst and all of that sort of stuff. Everything that came from that is what started everything happening. And seeing that rain is like, it's the turning point for the kingdom, and it was a really nice thing for her to see. And Egerum standing above her and them just talking about Pell and how he was the strongest warrior ever and his sacrifice, and Vivi wishes that she could thank him. There were lives lost in this. This wasn't an inconsequential war. A lot of bad stuff happened. A lot of people died, including people close to Vivi, and many citizens, innocent citizens of Alabasta, got slaughtered, including Royal Army and the Rebel Army because of Crocodile. But like I said, they can finally sort of see the end of the tunnel now, and it's really nice to see. And now on to Tashigi. She had the opportunity in this episode to not just arrest Crocodile, but arrest all of the Straw Hat Pirates, who, as we know, Luffy has a massive bounty on his head as well. But she couldn't do it, not even out of a sense of justice, but more out of a sense of frustration that she wasn't strong enough to deal with this situation on her own. She had to ask Luffy for help. She didn't even have the choice of justice because she didn't have the strength to deal with this situation, and it frustrates her to a point where she bursts out into tears and she screams at the top of her lungs that she will become stronger. And I love when Captain Smoker says, if you have time to cry, you have time to get stronger. And she says, I will. And I thought that was a great moment. I think Captain Smoker cares a lot about Tashigi. You can even tell, like, when the higher-ups are calling Captain Smoker and congratulating him for taking down Crocodile, even though that never happened, Captain Smoker saying that, don't you dare do this. Don't you reward us, because we were never the ones that took him down. But the government are very corrupt. They want to sweep all of this under the rug because it makes them look stupid. And if they say that pirates captured Crocodile, who was supposed to be like an ally of the world government, essentially, it makes them look terrible. So Smoker absolutely refuses, and he tells them to go to hell for even suggesting rewarding them in the public eye for this capture, considering Tashigi is crying about it. And he does it for Tashigi, I think, more than himself. I'm sure Captain Smoker wouldn't take that credit anyway, but the fact he knows it's affected Tashigi like it has, him telling the higher-ups to go to hell, I thought was fucking badass. It's given me a lot of respect for him as a character, for sure. But like I said, this really was the episode I was waiting for. It was so cathartic to see all of this happen, to see the rain falling and all the citizens finally happy, stop fighting, Crocodile taken down, just everything sort of coming into place. It was a really, really beautiful episode. This arc has been fantastic from start to finish. I don't think it's quite done yet, but we're probably done with the meat of the arc, I assume. But Alabasta has been incredible. alongside Arlong Park, definitely my favorite arc for sure. I've adored it so far. In the next episode, I'll do like a longer review of the whole arc. Probably, I'm not too sure, but my overall thoughts on this arc have been, yeah, top tier. I'd say I don't. It's on par with Arlong Park for sure. They're neck and neck. I'm not too sure which one's my favorite, but this one was fucking fantastic. I loved it. So, but yeah, that's this episode was great, and Alabasta as a whole has been beautiful.